Hey guys, welcome to the MIgardener Midweek Snack. My name is Cindy, and to end this episode, I'm going to teach you how to create your very own kale/garden chips. They're super simple and quick to do and very delicious as always. And I'm also going to show you a mini tour of the edible garden that I do have, some sunflowers, some snap peas. So stay tuned and I hope you guys do enjoy it. Alright guys, so I'm going to walk you through my garden. Here I have picked some fresh garden kale. We're going to use these for the chips. And you guys can use whichever kind of kale you do have, but I prefer this one for chips. And here I want to show you my chamomile and mint that's been going crazy. And for the recipe, we're also going to use some of the leaves from the broccoli. They're almost the same as texture as the kale chips, so I'm going to include them just to add a variety of flavor to this garden fresh chips. The peas have been doing pretty good, and over here there's some that are starting to fruit out and they're so beautiful. And I also have a wonderful two lettuce beds, and I'm growing tomatoes, melons, peppers, arugula, some Armenian cucumber, kale as well, chamomile, parsley, cilantro, and much more things. It's very exciting for summer to be starting over here. And for the recipe, I'm also going to be using Nasturtium Greens, which are the leaves of this wonderful flower, which are all edible, but I'm also going to include them for the chips. And I'm also going to use some flowers, but that are going to be after for a garnish. And I have beautiful sunflowers. They actually just are there because of last year. And I also have some melons, and I'm going to use some purple basil for this recipe as well. And I'm growing a lot of herbs over here, and tomatoes, peppers, mints. But let's get ready for the recipe. First, you want to make sure you destem your entire kale. You don't want to have any of the hard part in these chips whatsoever, so just tear it off away. And after that, you want to make sure that you've washed it and you've rinsed it properly. And I'm also going to start gathering the other ingredients I'm going to use for chips. And you want to make sure after you rinse them that you've pat dried them very, very well. That way they will not wilt when you're cooking them in the oven. So just make sure they're all nicely pat and dry. And once that, we can start bringing all our seasonings. It's going to be a very simple recipe. Now, time for the seasonings. You need about half a teaspoon of salt. You can leave it out if you'd like. A tablespoon of sesame oil or coconut oil or olive oil, whichever one you do have. I'm using sesame because it just brings a little bit of a nutty flavor. And also I'm going to be using about half a tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning and a half a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast will make it all kind of a cheesy flavor. A little bit of salt if you like, and you can also add some paprika or cayenne pepper if you want to add more kick to it. But I'm actually going to be adding basil and arugula at the end, finely fresh, just to add that kind of zestiness and kick to it as well. So just gather them all up, and then you're going to start mixing them in. So I'm going to prepare the kale separately than with the other ones because they're a little bit more different in textures. They're a little bit less coarse. So I'm going to do the kale chips first, and you just start seasoning. Make sure it just kind of gets like a glossy kind of look, and you're going to preheat your oven to 300 degrees. And these ones are actually going to cook pretty fast. You want to make sure that you are turning them every so often just to make sure they do not burn. And now I'm just going to prepare the other garden chips. So here I have the wonderful Nasturtium greens and also the broccoli greens as well. So we're just going to do the same as what we did with the kale chips, just massage them in. And after that, we're just going to place them in a baking sheet and again put them in a 300 degree preheat oven. And then we're just going to start rotating them as soon as we see how crisp it starts to get. And the very cool thing about it, since it's at a very low temperature, the oven's not going to be very hot, so it's kind of safe to do. Don't let kids do this, but of course an adult. You can flip it over just directly there at the oven because That way you'll be able to make them as crisp as possible. And after you're all done, I'm going to scissor cut all of these herbs and also these petals, and it's just going to add a different experience and flavor to these garden fresh chips. And there you go. These are the garden fresh zesty chips. I hope you guys like it. Can't wait to try it out, so stay tuned for the taste test. Alright guys, time for the taste test. Here we are. I'm going to try out these wonderful chips we have here. Give it a bite. They're so crunchy. Give it a bite with the nasturtium flower. It's floral. It tastes very elegant. It's sweet. You guys are going to love these. You guys definitely have to try it out. Let me know if you like it. Give it a like if you do want to try it out as well. Leave any comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to the MIgardener channel. Have a wonderful week. Take care until next time. Bye.